I got so many messages to talk about this. On one side, I appreciate it. On the other side, oh boy, are people still actually interested in the MMO. But the thing is, we are still waiting for the next dev updates to drop, which means, sure, we have time to dive into this. So today's topic is simple. We're talking about the MMO again. I know, it's been a while, but it is funny to see that all of a sudden, for no reason at all, there are just pieces of information about the MMO circling the internet. And best of all, some of them come from really weird sources. Which means, first we should start by asking, is the MMO dead? Well, simply said, not at all. In fact, that is gonna be the main thing to take away from today's video. The MMO still lives on, and it seems to be pretty active. At least, within the realms of the development. So take all of this as a big check whether this project is still alive. Interestingly enough though, this is something that anyone could have noticed without any experience of looking into anything that's behind Riot. And that is simply because in the realm of MMOs, something interesting happened very recently. Classic World of Warcraft released new servers, which also included new servers for the hardcore version, where a bunch of content creators created a guild called OnlyFangs. I am in that guild. Or I gloriously sacrificed myself. Anyway, the point is, this event actually resurrected a lot of hype around classic WoW. So a lot of streamers, including people who have never seen WoW before, started playing WoW hardcore. And that also includes the Riot MMO devs, with Tryndamere himself also being in OnlyFangs. So it's cool to see that the devs working on the MMO are actively taking part of the events that are happening around MMOs. So at the very least, you can't say that the MMO developers don't play MMOs. They are hitting level 60s on hardcore left and right. But connected to this, Mark Yetter, who is one of the people who hit 60 in hardcore, who is also the game director of Riot's MMO, posted new job listings related to the MMO. The MMO team has a few openings for software engineers you might have missed. We are super passionate and would really benefit from your help to make this ambitious game happen. After which he links to the two jobs. Now, because both of these are software engineers, the common folk will not be too excited about this, because this is just heavy technical stuff. But that doesn't mean we can't pick these apart. So first there is the more general staff software engineer. As a staff software engineer on our unpublished MMO, you'll build and deliver internet-scale backend services to power a genre-defining game for millions of players worldwide. From integrating Riot's existing platforms to creating new ones, you'll design scalable systems, develop features end-to-end, and ensure compliance with infrastructure and operational standards. To me, it seems like they are looking for an engineer that can make the base player progression across the game. It's really hard to describe everything this job actually can do. So thankfully they also list the responsibilities. Design and implement scalable, reliable backend services for high-performance gameplay. Again, this can be literally anything from just inventory management, to server tracking down the player locations, to just tweaking the ticks between the player commands and the servers. Again, there is a lot of technical stuff, so the specifics are not that important. But they can also develop server infrastructure that supports innovative gameplay and game features. Honestly, this can be also something like player housing if they really want to do that. Collaborate with cross-disciplinary teams, including art, design, and engineering to create cohesive player experiences. Simply said, let's make things satisfying and pretty. Plan, design, and execute technical initiatives, contributing to system architecture and development, contribute to team's technical direction, establishing best practices and standards, mentor teammates, fostering skill development and engineering excellence, continuously improve systems to meet the demands of live global audience. So again, most of this is technical mambo jambo. To put it in layman's terms, imagine the nerdiest kid in the class. That's who they are looking for. But then they also list some desired requirements. And this is where we can point out one cool thing. Familiarity with Unreal Engine 4 or 5, including Blueprint's visual scripting. I love how they mention 4 or 5 so that it is not exactly obvious what engine they are working in. It has to be 5, there is no way they are using 4. But also, to many of you, it may be a surprise that, yeah, we've known that the MMO is gonna be in Unreal for a while. Now the thing is, at the beginning, Unreal has never really had the best reputation for making MMOs, but over the years they really refined their craft. And so these days, there are actually many different MMOs who are all being developed in Unreal Engine. And it absolutely makes sense for Riot to do this too. And that's because Riot actually has a long-term relationship with Epic Games. I mean, Riot already held many different talks during Unreal Fest, including a really cool one where they talked about Valorant and how it potentially might be turned into new games. So I wouldn't be surprised if, going into the future, all of Riot's games were made with Unreal Engine. And this is awesome, because they are going into a field which I understand. And I understand this because I am also making a game in Unreal Engine. I swear to God, one day I will properly announce this. I tweeted about it once, and thank you all for the overwhelmingly positive comments. I did not expect that. But the point is, we are going into places which I understand. So then they also go into the staff tools engineer. As a staff software engineer on the unpublished MMO, you will work with all team disciplines to design, implement, and iterate on modern game development workflows, pipelines, and AI. Now, put down the pitchforks. I am pretty sure they are not talking about any kind of generative AI. On one side, they could be talking about the general AI, you know, like NPCs behaving, but because they are talking about workflows, they are talking about the kind of AI that actually helps them build features. They are not using AI to make models, they are not using AI to make art, at least as far as we know, and it's most likely just, hey, we manually made this code for 20 different assets. Can the AI just take what we did and use the code to make 20 more assets? That kind of thing, I hope. They could also be just using AI as a buzzword to just lure in more people into the job, because that's what companies do. Anyway, here's what they are doing. You will work in a small team alongside a product lead, technical artist, designers, and other engineers to ensure we can effectively deliver on our players' dreams. The ideal candidate is passionate, driven, and wants to guide the technical vision of how we extend engines and optimize workflows. You will report to the technical product manager of the project. And of course, they also have the specifics. Identify, prioritize, and implement custom Unreal tooling, workflows, and data repositories. Again, I assume that is where they are using the AI. Collaborate with team members to gather requirements, plan technical initiatives, and deliver consistently, lead and contribute to architectural requirements, technical design and implementation for relevant systems, help shape technical directions and standards for the team, as development advances into full production, iterate on robust, scalable, and performant solutions, mentor other engineers on the team in your area of expertise. See, they mention as the team advances into full production, so they are not there yet. They'll get there one day. And again, for the required qualifications: fluency in C or C++, professional experience creating tools for Unreal 4 or 5. Again, C++ is the base language for Unreal Engine. And for the most part, this is where the official information ends. Riot is still looking for more people to work on the MMO, which means the MMO is alive, they are doing stuff. But when it comes to the unofficial news, things get weird, because we got, and I quote, a Wild Rift community member from Uzbekistan, that is literally in their bio on their Twitter, who gave us some unofficial but totally officially confirmed news. LoL PC will get a new map and launcher in 2026. LoL Wild Rift will get a new map update in 2026. New game, open world MMO, development launch October 2025. See, what exactly is a development launch? In this case, are they talking about the full production? If that's so, then realistically, we might get some kind of an announcement this year. That would be big. Because usually, with the launch of full production, at the very least you have an announcement trailer. Of course, this entire thing reads like a 4chan post. We get 8 million of these every minute. But should they be true, for some reason, then hey, we might get something this year. Which would be funny because it would be the first time we got something official. But of course, as these pieces of information start circling the internet, eventually they end up on Reddit. And since League of Legends has recently been on a not so great streak of dealing with a progression and a monetization, there is a Reddit post that got quite high. Riot MMO project will fail if their prestige decreases more. They are on a path where their greed is hurting their own player base like League of Legends. Financially, they may be good with the recent changes, but they will lose a lot in the long term with their decisions. Why? Because Riot is a company that drives their players away from their biggest product, making loads of players disinterested in them, in the game, and because of that, their universe too. This is the worst investment for them considering the MMO is being built on League universe. Try seeing Runeterra as a word, and Riot is its god. Do you think a god with bad prestige and greed could hold its world together to not fail? Do you think their greed won't affect the biggest work-in-progress projects? I'm gonna be honest, the allegory with god and worlds, I'm not exactly sold on that one. But I understand what they are talking about. They just got it inverted. To everyone, it is absolutely obvious that Riot's reputation with the recent monetization has not been great. We are getting really expensive skins after even more expensive skins, after entire gacha systems being in League of Legends now, all while the base free-to-play progression is slightly worse. Not to mention, in some cases, we are missing really cool items. So in that regard, yes, they are right. But when it comes to the long-term investment, I think the exact opposite is true. I am pretty sure Riot is doing all of these because they realize that League can make a lot more money, and they are taking that and they are investing it into the long term. Because they are taking all of that money from the gacha games and they are shoving it into future projects such as Arcane or the MMO. This is not really a short-term gain, this is a short-term gain for the long-term investment. The catch is, it's really bad for reputation. And they are absolutely right. If, for example, the MMO gets some kind of a gacha system, you bet there is gonna be a lot of people disappointed. Which is why we should be hopeful about the fact that the MMO teams are actually playing classic MMOs such as classic WoW. At least those are holding everyone to the ground. But also, in this post they mentioned how people are getting less and less interested in the universe. But that is just false. And this got confirmed through two different means. First of all, it was recently confirmed that Mel is extremely popular and that there is a new wave of new and returning players. This was directly confirmed by Riot. But also, and this is the more important part, people got interested in this universe because of Arcane, with Arcane being one of these long-term investments. So again, I don't think people are getting less and less interested in this universe. In fact, the hype is going through the roof with stuff like Arcane. However, it mostly goes beyond the League of Legends audience, like Riot really tapped into the global market now, but also this all comes at the cost of the League of Legends game. So theoretically, if in the future they swap League of Legends, and they kinda let it burn when it comes to monetization, and they invest it all into the MMO, which can have a whole new audience, well, that is certainly a move they can make, which means there you have it, Riot. If you wanna save your reputation, and if you wanna let people know that the Riot MMO is in good hands, you have to give us back Hextech chests.